global news on Atlantic Television Network. First, the headlines. Chidi Lloyd assures massive dividends of democracy in Emorga. IPOB bans protests in Southeast over economic hardship. AGF probes ECOWAS court over unenforceable judgments. FG begins payment for November wage award. ECOWAS plans to implement biodiversity protection. NFF 2024 Federation Cup date begins March 1st to 31st. Actor Jimo advises women not to confess infidelity. And now to news in details. Executive Chairman of Emoha Local Government Area, Right Honorable Chidi Lloyd, has assured the people of Emoha that his administration will give massive dividends of democracy to improve the standard of living of the people, as well as workers in the council. Chidi Lloyd, who disclosed this during the commissioning of the council warehouse and generator house in the council secretariat, said the generator would improve power supply in the council to facilitate administrative matters, including the ICT Center, to give the needed training on technology to the people. He advised critics to avoid propaganda and work towards constructive criticisms that would improve the well-being of the people.
The most important thing, like Jesse Paul already said earlier this morning, is to continue to deliver on the dividends of good governance. We have bought this generator for the use of our workers. We intend that we will turn this place to a place where workers will voluntarily come to work. Because for those who may not have power in their houses, they are sure and certain that there will be power in the office. We are going to ensure that this premises is connected to Wi-Fi, where technology will be at play. In the next few days, we will be commissioning the 350-seater computer center, where we will be training from time to time our children to be computer literate. So all of these will require power. People have even quarreled for a council. Why would you go and buy this 660 kVA generator? As if I spoke with the acting director of works, we build for the future. That is the difference between we and them. We think ahead. That is the essence of leadership. Imagine what this generator was a few months ago when we bought it. You can't even dare now to go talk about this generator. With the inflation, with the rise in the cost of materials. So what we have done is to buy this fully automated generator, because as ever our people, we deserve the best. As ever our people, I know you all deserve the best, and that's why we will continue to account for the mandate you've given us until our last day in office. The most important
Onuchukwu, the Vice Chancellor of Ignatius Ajuru University, thanks the lawmakers of Emoha Local Government Council for giving the council chairman the needed support, and also advised Chidi Lloyd to remain focused in his development strides to the people of the council.
I also want to thank the legislative arm for giving the chairman the support, to achieve all this, because you don't spend government money without getting authorization. And you know that through the budgetary process, the legislative arm, has a very serious role to play, and they have actually supported you. Mr. Chairman, I recall that when you got the ticket to fly our flag as the chairman of Local Government Council under the People's Democratic Party, you set up a blueprint committee and made me chairman of it. I recall that the Secretary of Council was also the secretary of that particular committee. And one of the major things we identify is that you should, change the face of the council headquarters. I am happy today that the council headquarters is wearing a brown logo. We didn't expect it to get to this extent, but you find out that there are so many things inside the council, and there are so many projects inside the council that will be commissioned. Behind us here is, an ICT center, which is something to really show that our chairman and the management are IT compliant, because you know where the world is going now. And then number two, I will also say to you, mind what people are saying. Not to mind, people can abuse you. Once you're in the position of authority, they will abuse you, say all manner of things against you. Keep your mood. Take the ones that are useful and throw away the other ones and do something with the ones that are useful. Criticism comes every day. In short, as the Vice Chancellor of Ignatius Ajuri University, I've received so many of it. Anytime I open social media, I just laugh. In a situation where I decided to tell our students to split their fees if they can't pay all at the same time, to pay part first semester and pay part second semester. A situation where I've decided that every year for my staff to go on Xmas, I must give them, at least rights to go with, which has never happened in that university. But some people keep saying that your performance in terms of welfare is zero. So some things, when you say, just put it by the side and do your work. It is important that we say this. I know that power are the one major area where people are criticizing, but they don't understand what's trans.
State Working Committee of the Area of Progressives Congress has passed a vote of confidence in its acting chairman, Jared Senebi, Secretary Lawrence Oka, and Publicity Secretary Peter Owaide. The vote of confidence may not be unconnected with the crisis that came up after the party's primary election on Saturday, which had 3 aspirants claiming victory. The chairman of the Electoral Committee of the primary, Governor Hoku Zodima, announced Dennis Idahosa as the winner, while returning officer Stanley Ubuaja, who started the announcement of the results at Lushville, finished it at Pastor Saji Iyamu residence and declared Monday Okpebolo as winner. Iyamu was one of the 3 aspirants who pulled out of the race, while Ojo Babatunde, who claimed to be representing the returning officers in the local governments, declared Anamera Dekeri as the winner of the election. According to Uwadie, the suspension of the vice chairman of Edo Central, Francis Inebinike, was revisited, and the members agreed that, having waited for the local government ESCO, that was directed to invite him for interrogation and possibly for him to defend himself in line with the principles of justice, and nothing was forthcoming, while the State Working Committee resolved to veto the suspension and reinstate Chief Francis Inebeniki to his position as the Vice Chairman of APC, Edo Central Senatorial District. Eastern Naval Command of the Nigerian Navy says the Navy saved the nation of 95 billion naira through the operations of the command between April 2024 and February 2024. Rear Admiral Olusola Oluwabire, who disclosed this during a parade to mark the end of his tour of duty as a flag officer commanding Eastern Naval Command, said, following last year's ultimatum by President Bola Tinubu to the service chiefs and heads of security and intelligence agencies to crush perpetrators of oil theft, there has been an increased onslaught on oil theft in the country. He said the efforts led to the arrest of 13 vessels, including 101 suspects engaged in illegal bunkering, crude oil theft, illegal fishing, and other maritime illegalities. Chief Dr. Emmanuel Iwu Ayawu, KSC DSSRS, President General of Igbo Social Cultural Group, Ohaneze Igbo, has praised the Chief Executive Officer of Morrison Communications Limited for setting up Atlantic Television Network and Wish FM 99.5 in the east of the Niger, which he described as first of its kind. Chief Iwu Ayawu, who gave the commendation when the management staff of Morrison Communication Limited, led by the Chief Executive Director, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, paid him an advocacy visit in his office in Owerri, Imo State, pledged full partnership and support for Atlantic Television Network.
They're my brother. They're my brother because I was raised in your place. When I was a young person, I didn't know I have any other place apart from there. My father, there's a church called Manuel's Church. My father laid the foundation church, so that church, he called it Imam. My father was there. So you see that, I speak the language, I have the culture, I have everything. I schooled in some schools in that area, and I eventually passed it to the Apparat people, and then we go, yes, we go. And of course, I was there. Those my colleagues, I was gifted as a young person. I was very smart in sports and academically too. So my colleagues respected me so much. So it was a very wonderful place. He gave me a lot, and I got scholarship. I studied on scholarship. My father then didn't have money to train me as well. So I'm very proud of my relationship with Victoria. I'm very proud. Very proud.
Chief Emmanuel Iwayawo further expressed joy for the visit, stating that River State is part of the Igbos with almost the same culture and traditions.
I have brought some papers here. I will announce it, and it can be rest assured that we will just do everything we can to make sure we support you. This business of the television and so on, it doesn't make small profit as people think outside. Only those who are blackmailers and so on and so forth, it will be a business. But you see, if you, with us working together, you will also perhaps need some governors. You need the governors of Eastern Nigeria to support you. Because you have to get, I will also get the governors of Southeast. So then, support you. Because you can't do without adverts. So you can't do without adverts. So, but all I can tell you, frankly speaking, is that we have, I'm very happy and very proud. You are my brother and you have a support.
Earlier, Chief Executive Director, Morrison Communication Limited, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, commended Ohanaeze Ndigbo under the leadership of Chief Dr. Emmanuel Iwu Ayawu for his efforts in ensuring peace and stability in the Southeast region. Dr. Igwe, who highlighted on the significance of Morrison Communication Limited, owners of Atlantic Television Network, in promoting, educating, and impacting positively in the society through political and societal programs, appreciated Chief Emmanuel Iwayawo for the pledge to partner with Atlantic Television Network.
Life is about growth, so I'm assist here today. I've gone to the level where I can come before you. I'm a businessman. One of my running business is broadcasting. I've established Atlantic Television Network and Wish FM. Wish FM is situated in Port Harcourt. Atlantic Television is a global team. Presently, we are broadcasting on the StarTimes industry. We are barely 1 year old plus, while we are working towards deploying to DSTV. Atlantic Television, we are transmitting from Port Harcourt, River State. We decided to transmit from there because we said that act of the heart of Solomon, as the Bible says, that shall come good team. We are the only broadcast station of that level, of that magnitude in Nigeria today. Channels, Arise, the TVC are all based in Lagos. But we decided to transmit from Port Harcourt using east of the Niger as our home base. In our programs, we try to ensure that the Niger Delta and Igbo Kingdom are our focal points. We have, during the past 1 year of our existence, ensure that we give this place a primary focus so that Nigerians the world over will know what we are doing. We said that it's therefore necessary that we come on this advocacy visit to bring it before your esteemed presence and the presence of Igbo, so that the guy can support I. They should watch us, they should use us and patronize us so that we continue to group us and continue to make the statement about Igbo.
Highlights of the advocacy visit includes presentation of gifts and souvenir by the CEO of Morrison Communication Limited, Dr. Chinyere Igwe. Joint security team has destroyed an insurgents camp in Achala headquarters of Akwa North local government area of Anambra State. A statement by Anambra State Police Command spokesperson DSP Ikenga Tochukwu said the operation ordered by the Commissioner of Police CP Aderemi Adoye took the insurgents by surprise as they fled with gunshot wounds, leaving trails of blood. DSP Ikenga stated that the hoodlums had disrupted trading at Achala markets the previous Monday, ordering traders to sit at home. This drew attention of the security apparatus, which made the State Police Command to launch a coordinated operation to give them a taste of their medicine in the early hours of Monday, 19 February 2024. The operation, which was hugely successful, led to the recovery of 5 exotic vehicles previously snatched at gunpoint. Also recovered were over 300 rounds of machine gun ammunition and 36 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition for AK-47 rifle. Indigenous people of Biafra has banned protests against hunger in any Southeast territory, adding that any Nigerian agent who dares to organize any protests in Biafra land will regret it. The pro-Biafran group stated this in a press statement issued by its spokesman, Emma Powerful, stressing that the current hardship in Nigeria should be the concern of Nigerians, not Biafrans, adding that anyone who organized any protests against economic hardship in the Southeast would put Ndibo in danger. The group further said, anyone or group that wants to organize a protest for Nigeria's hardship should kindly go to Northern or Western. Lagos State government says it will release 4 billion naira to pensioners in March as part of efforts to inject funds into the economy to cushion the economic hardship in the country. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's chief press secretary, Gboyega Akosile, who disclosed this, said Sanwo-Olu's second term in office would be about social inclusion and spoke on the government's efforts to ameliorate the hardship being faced by Nigerians at this period. Sanwo-Olu said on his X handle that he had on the plan to pay 3.1 billion naira to over 1,000 retirees who serve the state meritoriously. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned former Governor of Kwara State, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, for alleged fraudulent transactions involving billions of naira that took place during his tenure as governor. The ex-governor, who was spotted at the EFCC office, was not freed and not allowed to leave. The funds were in connection with some projects executed in the state during Ahmed's tenure. Management of the University of Ilorin, Kwara State, says it has approved the expulsion of 14 students, including 7 final year students, for alleged misconduct and involvement in examination malpractices. The University Director of Corporate Affairs, Kunle Akogun, disclosed this in the university's weekly bulletin release, said the Vice Chancellor's approval of their expulsion was sequel to the recommendations of the Students' Disciplinary Committee at its 219th meeting, while among those expelled were 7 final year students in various departments such as agriculture and aquaculture and fisheries, agriculture and agricultural extensions and rural development, and CIS Library and Information Science Department. Some of the students were also from the Faculty of Engineering and Technology and Electrical and Electronic Engineering, while the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Materials and Metallurgical Engineering, Faculty of Life Science, Faculty of Education, and Faculty of Arts, Linguistics, and Nigerian Languages. Veterinary staff of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, has been reported dead after a tragic encounter he had with one of the lions at the institution's zoological garden. This is coming after the lion fiercely attacked and killed its minder, Mr. Olabode Olawiyi, during feeding, while the victim, Mr. Olabode Olawiyi, had cared for the lion alongside other animals in the zoological garden for over a decade. Reacting to the incident, a statement by the institution's spokesperson, Abiodun Olarewaju, confirmed the incident in a statement, while President of the Student Union, Mr. Abbas Akinremi, said the lion attack incident that led to the death of the zookeeper was due to human error. He explained that the deceased failed to lock the gates after feeding the lion, and the vaccine spokesman said the management had ordered a comprehensive investigation into the immediate and remote causes of the incident. High Court in Ogun State has convicted Aziz Akimpelu to death by hanging for killing a minor. Akimpelu, who resides in the Owode area of the state, was convicted on a 6-count charge of conspiracy, possession of firearms, manslaughter, attempted murder, and murder, while the prosecution counsel said the convict committed the offense after he conspired with his friends to murder one Rokibat Odeyale by shooting her on the head with a local pistol. According to him, the people of Ibeyin were celebrating Orile Ibeyin Day when they had a gunshot from the crowd fired by the defendants directly to where some children were dancing culturally and entertaining the guests. Justice O.O. Stanley held that the prosecution has proved its case beyond reasonable doubt that Akimpelu was guilty as charged and handed Akimpelu multiple sentences were ordered by, including death by hanging. Deadly crash has killed seven, others were injured in an early morning crash that occurred on Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway at the Kere Bridge in the Ewekoro local government area of the state. The crash involved a truck and a Mazda bus and blamed on excessive speed and route violation reportedly caused a head-on collision between the truck and the Mazda bus. The spokesperson for the Ogun State Sector Command of Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okwe, disclosed this in a statement, said that while the injured have been taken to General Hospital, Ijaye, the bodies of the deceased have been deposited at Lantoro Hospital, Abeokuta. Meanwhile, Ogun Sector Commander of FRSC, Anthony Uga, has however cautioned motorists on route violation and excessive speeding, pointing out the dangers associated with the two critical offences, and also advised motorists to adhere to traffic rules and regulations. The sector commander has sympathized with the family of the crash victims, praying God to grant them the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Federal government has commenced installation on the e-gates facility at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, located in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunjiojo, who disclosed this through his official X account following his inspection tour of the installation work underway at the International Airport in Abuja, said the e-gates facility will be implemented at all of Nigeria's 5 international airports. Tunjiojo indicated that he evaluated the implementation of the e-border data and control center at the Nigeria Immigration Service headquarters, targeting an enhancement of national security, while the minister in November last year unveiled plans to implement e-gates in the nation's international airports by February 2024. Federal High Court in Abuja has struck out the treasonable felony charges filed by the federal government against activist and publisher of Sahara Reporters Omoyele Sowore and Olawale Bakare alias Mandate. Justice Emeka Nwite struck out the charges following a nolle prosequi or notice of discontinuance filed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, adding that the charges were instituted against Sowore and mandates by the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari following their planned nationwide protest tagged #RevolutionNow in 2019. Ahead of the planned protest, Sowore and mandates were picked up in Lagos in a midnight raid by the Department of State Services, while the Buhari-led government said it believed the planned #RevolutionNow protest was aimed at destabilizing the government or taking over power by violence after Sowore, who was the candidate of the African Action Congress, who lost out in the 2019 presidential election that Buhari won. Counsel for the defendant, Femi Falana, confirmed receiving the notice of discontinuance and appreciated the Attorney General of the Federation for his action and urged the court to order the DSS to return to Sowore's phone and other items seized from him at Bakare. Federal High Court in Abuja has restrained the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and the Arab Contractors Nigeria Limited from entering into the Centenary Economic City Free Zone along Airport Road, Abuja, without the written consent and approval of the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority. The court, in a judgment by Justice Inyang Eko, slammed 100 million naira damages on Arab Contractors Nigeria Limited for invading and defacing structures in the Centenary Economic City Free Zone and destroying its master plan designed for $35 million. The judge made the orders in a judgment delivered and filed by the Centenary Economic City Free Zone and Centenary City Free Zone Company. Apart from the FCC Minister and the Arab Contractors Nigeria Limited, other defendants in the suit are the Federal Capital Development Authority, the President, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Nigeria Export Processing Authority, and the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. In a copy of February 6 judgment said declared as illegal and unconstitutional invasion of the Centenary Economic City Free Zone by the defendants. Federal government has reached agreements with the cement manufacturers of Nigeria after many hours of meeting held behind closed doors at the Ministry of Works in Abuja. For some time now, retail price for cement jumped from 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira within 1 week in the open market after wholesalers, citing the increasing of transportation and other variables, made adjustments to the price, which was 5,000 naira, making it hard for final cost consumers to buy. This prompted President Bola Tinubu to order the Minister of Works, David Umahi, and his trade and investment counterpart, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, to meet with cement manufacturers to find a solution to the crisis, which after meeting, the Works Minister said it was agreed to be 78,000 naira henceforth. As a result, the three major cement producers, Dangote Cement PLC, BUA Cement PLC, and Lafarge Africa PLC, decided that depending on the area, the cost of cement will not exceed 7,000 naira to 8,000 naira per 50 kg bag, while government recommended that cement producers to set up a pricing monitoring system going ahead to guarantee compliance. Meanwhile, the Minister of Trade and Investment stated that on the problems of cement smuggling, there is an engagement with the National Security Advisor on how to stop the trend. Zamfara State Transport Agency has stopped 50 trucks conveying foodstuffs out of the country to the Niger Republic. The agency, which was enforcing the presidential directive meant to arrest the food crisis and hoarding, grounded the trucks loaded with assorted grains. President Bola Tinubu ordered the personnel of the National Security Advisor, Nehru Badu, while the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betokun, and the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, to collaborate with state governors and go after those hoarding foodstuffs. The decision was taken during the President's meeting with the governors in Abuja on the current food crisis triggered by the hikes in transportation costs after the fuel subsidy removal and the inability of farmers to harvest their crops because of bandits and kidnappers. The National President of All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kabir Ibrahim, lauded the Nigerian Customs Service for recently instructing trucks of food and recommended that smugglers should be prosecuted and be made to serve life imprisonment. Federal government has reached agreements with the cement manufacturers of Nigeria after many hours of meeting held behind closed doors at the Ministry of Works in Abuja. For some time now, retail price for cement jumped from 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira within 1 week in the open market after wholesalers, citing increasing of transportation and other variables, made adjustments to the price, which was 5,000 naira, making it hard for final consumers to buy. This prompted President Bola Tinubu to order the Minister of Works, David Umahi, and his trade and investment counterpart, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, to meet with cement manufacturers to find a solution to the crisis, which after the meeting, the Works Minister says cement was agreed to be 78,000 naira henceforth.
The challenges of the manufacturers. And the manufacturers, had the opportunities to talk about their challenges, ranging from high cost of gas, high import duties on their spare parts, and bad road network, and of course the high effects. The manufacturer noted, and government, that the present high cost of cement in the market is very much abnormal in some locations nationwide.
During the course of 3 hours, we discussed extensively and we fully concur with the communique the Honorable Minister of Works read. And another thing I need to also add is that Goa is committed to bringing an additional 6 million tons of cement in the next few days. That's what if we wait. And that will seriously dampen the pressure of supply in the market.
Listening to us, the challenges that we all face as manufacturers, I think we appreciate that. And we do look forward to the solutions coming, the support they're going to give within the next coming days.
With an investment
As a result, the three major cement producers, Dangote Cement PLC, BUA Cement PLC, and Lafarge Africa PLC, decided that depending on the area, the cost of cement will not exceed 7,000 to 8,000 naira per 50 kg bag, while government recommended that cement producers to set up a pricing monitoring system going ahead to guarantee compliance.
Ideally, they noted that cement price, retail price to a consumer should not cost more than between 7,000 to 8,000 per 50 kg bag of cement. Therefore, the cement manufacturers, which is Dangote PLC, the Bua PLC and Lafarge PLC, have agreed to have their cement price nationwide to between 7,000 to 8,000 naira per 50 kg bag of cement, depending on the locations, which means that, this price depends on the locations, Then going forward, government advised cement manufacturers to set up price monitoring mechanism to ensure compliance to the price that I've set today, and manufacturers have willingly accepted to do that and to sanction on their own any of our distributors or retailers found wanting. We noted that Dangote doesn't have retailers, but have distributors, but the other two have retailers and distributors, so they will act accordingly. The government expects the agreed price to drop after securing government interventions on the challenges of the manufacturers, excluding the issue of FX. The meeting agreed to reconvene in 30 days to review progress made.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Trade and Investment stated that on the problems of cement smuggling, there is an engagement with the National Security Advisor on how to stop the trend.
Have collaboration with the industries to deepen our engagement with them and to continue to remove all bottlenecks that they are facing and the challenges that they are facing to ensure that we have smoother operation and that the benefit of the backward integration program, especially in cement, is enjoyed and felt by every citizen in the country. As you recall, the cement industry or the cement sector is one of the beneficiaries of the backward integration program of the ministry, and it has been a success story. They have stopped importing cement. Nigeria stopped importing cement since 2012. This is because of the result of the backward integration program, and we are a net exporter, actually, manufacturer and a net exporter of cement in Nigeria. And there is no reason why we should be experiencing the kind of issues that are having the cement prices, which was why we called this meeting. And with the intervention of this stakeholder engagement, we will try also to see how we can support the industry to reduce the cost of cement for every citizen to enjoy. And this communique speaks to that fact. So this is basically what we agreed to. And thank you everyone. And we see that government is committed to ensuring that the citizens or the plight of the citizens are managed and ameliorated. And we will not stop, not just in cement, but in every other sector of the economy to ensure that prices come down, inflation is managed, and the citizens benefit from the government programs that we have. Thank you very much.
Benue State Governor Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia says the state open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment law is still in full force in the state. Alia, who disclosed this during an interface with leaders of various unions in the state at the Old Banquet Hall, Government House, Makurdi, said the essence of the interface was to imitate the unions on the happenings both in the state and at the national level and to appreciate them for their support to his administration. Governor Alia charged the unions to always ensure peaceful and friendly coexistence among them, urging them to be cordial in their dealings and resolutions without always involving the courts, and urged them not to allow themselves to be used by anyone to destabilize the peace in the state, stressing that the recent influx of herders and their cattle in the state was because some persons had written to the herders in neighboring countries, including Niger Republic, to come and settle back in Benue State. He assured the people of the state that the law is in force and has not been relaxed by anyone. Kano State Police Command says it has started investigation into an alleged invasion of the off-campus hostels of Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology, formerly known as Kano State University of Science and Technology, in the Wudio area of the state. The command spokesperson, Abdullahi Kiyawa, who disclosed this, said some suspected thieves had invaded the area, but the students combined to give them a hot chase. Meanwhile, the police spokesperson, who confirmed the incident, said an investigation had begun to identify the suspects and bring them to justice while no casualty was recorded. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, in collaboration with the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria, have sealed over 1,321 patent medicine stores in the Sabongari open market of Kano. The operation took place 72 hours after the Federal High Court ordered the drug dealers to vacate their open market premises and relocate to the Coordinated Wholesale Center at Dangwero Village on Zaria Road in the state. And the exercise provoked a protest by the patent medicine store owners who marched to the Kano State Government's house to express their displeasure. NAFDAC Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Mr. Francis Ononiwu, said the closure was part of its mandate to sanitize unwholesome pharmaceutical practice by the dealers, while the patent medicine traders have constituted an imminent threat to public health following the distribution of unwholesome pharmaceutical products to unsuspected members of the public. Nigerian Red Cross Society has signed partnership agreements with the EcoBank to facilitate the activities of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. The head of delegation International Federation Red Cross, Upinder Thomas, said the partnership with EcoBank was to grow the means of help more than 26 million people in an acute malnutrition, particularly here in Nigeria.
But today is a day for us to think about what we can do as individuals to help people who are suffering from the impact of this increased vulnerability, particularly here in Nigeria. I think this year the projection from many actors, including ourselves, is that more than 26 million people would be in acute malnutrition. That's not a small number. Let me repeat that, 26 million people. And of course, as I have said before to you in media and others, that I don't think any single actor can respond to this and can provide all the solutions. And I'm so pleased that EcoBank has up and is thinking about contributing to this effort in some small way. But what we are really asking is that many Nigerians who have the ability, who have the means, even in this harsh environment, that they become generous, that they open up their heart and partner with Nigeria Red Cross to collect resources and allow Nigeria Red Cross to respond to this crisis and support Nigerians who are suffering tremendously from hunger, from lack of nutrition, and all associated.
The representative of EcoBank said it was important to partner with Red Cross because its objective is to end suffering of people in order to fulfill its humanitarian mandates.
One of our mission's objective is to alleviate sufferings wherever it may be found. So with this launching, we will be able to carry out our humanitarian mandate. To carry out humanitarian interventions, 36 states and FCT in all the nooks and crannies. What EcoBank has been able to do for us, facilitated by International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, is a long partnership because I'm aware that EcoBank supports not just Nigeria, West African region, 16 countries. Federation has a robust partnership with EcoBank for many years now. And now is out of it, we are tapping into it country here. Now, we want public to donate corporate bodies multilateral organizations to donate so that we'll be able.
The Secretary General, Nigeria Red Cross, and the regional head FCT and North Central, Rita Etomi, stressed that many Nigerians are faced with an acute hunger to the alarming levels of food security, and therefore called on Nigerians who God has blessed to join hands with Red Cross to support the God's force.
We're particularly delighted to partner with the Nigerian Red Cross Society in this bold initiative. Nigeria Hunger Crisis Emergency Appeal to reach out to 1,092,030 people. That is to say 182,050 households in 11 states. We are currently faced with acute hunger due to the alarming levels of food insecurity in the country. At this juncture, let me appeal to well-meaning individuals, corporates, and international organizations to donate generously towards this project to save humanity.
In conclusion, urgent action is needed to save lives. The Nigerian society, with the support from partners like EcoBank, will provide such needed humanitarian assistance to the communities most in need. The Nigerian Red Cross Society will scale up the current efforts in providing multi-purpose cash grants related to recovery, offering continued nutritional support for pregnant and lactating mothers to combat acute malnutrition and emphasizing excellent water, hygiene, and sanitation, along with livelihood programs to reduce the prevalence of disease and other infections. I call upon all individuals, just like our madam from the EcoBank mentioned, and also our HOD, we call all individuals and groups, business and organizations to join us and support the government's effort across all levels in this critical endeavor. Together, we can make a difference, provide hope, and save lives. It is important to say, like Bibi mentions, Nigerians for Nigerians, as we have had in other countries during such relief actions. Nigeria has the right personnel, right people have the commitment of fellow Nigerians to support each other.
Senator representing Ogun East Senatorial District, Benga Daniel, says he wishes President Bola Tinubu would speak on the already failed economy he inherited and the level of efforts and success he has achieved since his emergence. Daniel added that Tinubu refrained from speaking because the same party he is standing for was largely responsible for the misdeeds in the past. The senator, who disclosed this during his tour of Ijebu Ode local government area of Ogun State, said Tinubu could not talk about the realities at the moment, pleading with Nigerians to persevere and show understanding and cooperation with the present administration as it remains committed to a more prosperous nation. He also appealed to Nigerians to encourage the president, who has done a lot of salvage in the country and having admitted hardship in the country, hinted that the menace was caused by the past government but hoped for better days. Policy and Legal Advocacy Center has dialogue with the National Assembly Committee on Human Rights on the state of human rights violation in Nigeria to provide a balanced narrative on the human rights situations in the country. The meeting was to also provide a platform to amplify the voices of citizens who have suffered human rights violations as they share their experiences, and giving an opportunity for government institutions, including law enforcement agencies, to share their perspective on the application of human rights protection measures in the discharge of their responsibilities. The Executive Director, Plaxment Wankwo, gave the background of the meeting, highlighting human rights problems faced by Nigerians.
Some of them institutional, some of them behavioral, some of them human-made. Those challenges continue to pose obstacles to the exercise of freedom and human rights in the country. Some of those human rights are not just civil and political, they are also economic, social, and cultural. And I think that for all of us who are represented here, I see a lot of colleagues, a lot of veterans from the human rights struggle, Edetan Ojo, seated with Emma Odi and several others who are in the room who have been part of this struggle for decades. Working with all of us in civil society and working with the National Assembly, I think becomes really important for us to find some solution, have some conversation about how to deal with the present crisis that we are faced with in this country regarding protection of human rights, and how the committees in the National Assembly can engage citizens groups to listen to citizens about their complaints on human rights abuses in the country. The National Human Rights Commission is doing a fantastic job trying to respond to citizens' pressures for support to realize their rights. Further support from the committees of the National Assembly and indeed the National Assembly for citizens to be protected from human rights abuse becomes really important, and that's one major reason for this dialogue and convening. We urge all of us who are in the room today to engage with our legislators, provide suggestions to them on how they can be part of this struggle to defend the rights of our people and the right of our people to have the full benefits of the democracy that this country is currently in at this time. Some of them.
The Chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Senator Mohammed Mungunu, while speaking on freedom of expression and defense, said government must take the responsibility of defending human rights.
The promotion and protection of human rights is an essential aspect of democracy. The issues we are confronting in the area of human rights are not merely matters of policy or politics. They strike at the very core of our humanity and our commitment to justice and dignity for all. Attention. One of the most pressing issues we must address is the protection of freedom of expression and the press. A free and vibrant media is indispensable to a healthy democracy. Yet journalists and media workers in Nigeria continue to face harassment, intimidation, and even violence for simply doing their jobs. We must reaffirm our commitment to press freedom and ensure that journalists can work without fear of reprisal. It is incumbent upon us to prioritize their rights and ensure that they are not left behind in our pursuit of progress. As legislators, policymakers, activists, and concerned citizens, we have a collective responsibility to uphold and defend human rights in Nigeria. This dialogue presents an invaluable opportunity for us to come together, exchange ideas, and chart a path forward toward a more just, equitable, and rights-respecting society.
Representative of Chairman House of Representatives Committee on Human Rights, Abiola Peter Makinde, stressed that Nigeria can overcome human rights challenges if human rights laws are well implemented and properly put to use.
The federal government had gotten into. However, these measures have been insufficient and ineffective in addressing the widespread and systemic human rights violations in the country. The NAP has not, that's the National Action Plan, has not been fully implemented, even though it was reviewed. The National Human Rights Commission has faced, the Commission itself has faced challenges such as inadequate funding, staffing, independence, and public awareness. The government has not complied with some of the obligations under the international human rights treaties and conventions, such as submitting the periodic report or implementing the recommendations of the treaty bodies. Human rights are essential for the peace, stability, and prosperity of Nigeria. By addressing the root causes and consequences of human rights violation, Nigeria can overcome its challenges and realize its potentials as a democratic and inclusive nation. As a committee on human rights, we will continue to make relevant laws, oversight NHRC and relevant agencies, as well as investigate cases while ensuring the implementation of National Action Plan 2022 to 2026. Thank you all and happy deliberation.
You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.
When peace
The Ejogu family of Umunna in Amuju in Isu local government area of Imo State cheerfully mourn the demise of their daughter, sister and mother, prophetess Kola Ijoma Ejogu, whose event occurred on Saturday, 5th of January 2024 at UPTH. Burial arrangement, night of tribute. Date is Thursday, the 29th of February 2024. Time is 4 p.m. and venue is Wish Complex, Wish Avenue Radio Estate, NTA Road, Uzoba, Port Harcourt. Burial service, Order of God of Abraham Ministries. Date Sunday, the 3rd of March 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue Umunna in Izu, local government area of Imo State. Retirement follows immediately after service. She is survived by Mrs. Roslyn Obonna, mother, Raphael, Richard, and Wisdom sons, Sonny Ejogu, Ugochukwu Ejogu, Chukwudi Ejogu as brothers, and Kechinre Sebastian sister. May her soul rest in peace. Sign, Apostle Sonny Ejogu and senior leader.
This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now the rest of our stories. Senate, through its Committee on Finance, has found out the 17 trillion naira loss incurred by the country on tax waivers within the last 5 years and urged the Federal Inland Revenue Service to suspend the tax waivers being largely abused and substitute it with a rebating system. The Senate's objection to the allegedly abused tax waivers came to the fore during the 2024 budget presentation of FIRS to its Committee on Finance. Similarly, the chairman of FIRS, Zaka Dedeji, who made projection of 19.4 trillion naira as targeted total tax collection for 2024, insisted that a fresh 2.7 trillion naira tax credits planned for road construction in the country by the Central Bank of Nigeria should be stopped. In his remarks at the budget presentation session, the chairman of the committee, Senator Sani, told the FIRS chairman that tax waivers abuse, which has cost the country about 17 trillion naira loss within the last 5 years, should be suspended and substituted with rebating system. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has stressed the need for training and retraining of members of the 10th Assembly following recurring cases of high turnover rates of lawmakers. Honorable Abbas gave the expression during the unveiling of a policy document on training, retraining and capacity building of members of the 10th House Legislative Aid and Support Staff for better performance and output. According to the Speaker, the training becomes necessary as over 80% of the members of the 10th Assembly are new members. Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, who was represented at the event by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, lauded several local and international development and technical partners of the National Assembly. The Speaker also stated that the high turnover rates at the National Assembly posed a significant challenge to maintaining continuity and building on the institutional knowledge crucial for effective governance.
This is in line with our legislative agenda, which identifies the strengthening of internal capacity of the legislature as a critical factor towards achieving all our other legislative objectives. As a result, the document before us today reflects our current capabilities and the urgent requirements needed to elevate the standard of our legislative functions. The need for continuous capacity strengthening in the legislature is well known to us all. The high turnover rate at the National Assembly poses a significant challenge to maintaining continuity and building on the institutional knowledge that is crucial for effective.
In his part, the Clerk of the House of Representatives, Dr. Yahya Danzaria, also described the development as an inter-parliamentary wedding between the House of Reps and the development partners, adding that the effort kick-started since the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly by the Speaker with the collaboration of leadership.
Enhancing the capacity and effectiveness of parliamentary institutions in the country. The program focuses on strengthening the National Assembly by providing support, training and technical assistance to parliamentarians and parliamentary staff in areas such as legislative drafting, policy analysis, budgeting, oversight, representation, etc. It is intended to harness parliamentary development programs whose objectives may include strengthening democratic governance, legislative reform and policy advocacy, strengthening parliamentary procedures and practices, enhancing oversight and accountability, and strengthening parliamentary administration.
Represented at the event included UNDP Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, Conrad Adenauer Stephen, IEGA Africa, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Order Paper, BUD GTI, Partnership to Engage, Reform and Learn, the European Union, and the National Assembly, Business Environment Roundtable, among others. Bill seeking alter the 1999 Constitution and to establish state police has passed second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, sponsored by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, and 14 other members, proposes to transfer the term police in the 1999 Constitution from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list. Leading the debate on the bill, Honorable Mukhtar Shagaya and Kwara said the proposed legislation seeks to navigate the complex landscape of security challenges by empowering states with the means to address issues unique to their localities. He said the proposed alteration represents a visionary leap towards a safer, more secure and harmonious Nigeria. Contributing in support of the bill, some lawmakers said the state police will enable each state to be in a position to take charge of their security.
I rise in strong support of the establishment of state police forces across Nigeria. A proposition that not only aligns with the principles of federalism, but also responds to the urgent security needs of our diverse and evolving society. Our discussions begin with the bedrock of our nation's governance, the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Though the Constitution currently vests the responsibility of policing in the federal government, it is imperative to revisit this framework to reflect the realities of our federated states.
Mr. Speaker, for those of us in the Northeast, we don't need a soothsayer to tell us that it's timely and appropriate for us to have a state policy. Mr. Speaker, when the issue of Boko Haram became something out of the control of all agents of coercion, the state government must embark on establishment of what we call civilian JTF to augment the effort of our Nigerian military and other agents of coercion in the operations in the Northeast.
Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that the police should be licensed like universities are licensed. For instance, if you want to set up a university in a state, if a state wants to set up a university, they will go to the NUC. NUC will license them. So we should find a way of licensing police. Any state that meets the condition precedents that is formed by maybe the Police Service Commission can apply.
Let me make a computation that in the 7th and 8th Assembly, I am one of those who champion the killing of this type of people. Our reasoning then was that state governors will use the bill to intimidate and harass political opponents. But with the situation we are in now, we have gone far, far beyond that. We are now concerned with what is the primary purpose of government: protection of life and property. I believe that is the most important job for all of us that are elected into office. And as we speak today, Nigeria is on fire everywhere. There is lack of security, there is lack of posterity, there is lack of this, lack of this. And now I believe Nigeria is on fire everywhere. There is lack of security.
The lawmaker who spoke in opposition of the bill said that some states in the country are not viable financially to have state police.
About 21 states or so in this country are caught up in the quagmire of socio-political, ethno-religious misunderstanding. Put the case of establishing state police in these 20 states. I can give you an example. How do you create and balance the establishment of a state police in the trajectory history of political situation in Plateau states today, or Benue state, or Taraba state? It's a noble idea, but the problem is we. It's we. Mr. Speaker, honourable members, as of today, we are a living witness. The federal government is battling on how to fund 300 or 400,000 police force in this country. Some of the states that we are clamoring to establish police states are not even viable economically. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Policing is capital intensive.
The bill was put to a voice vote and the majority of the lawmakers approved it, while attempts to pass the bill proposing establishment of state police failed in the 8th and 9th National Assembly. If passed by the 10th Assembly, the bill must get the support of 2/3 majority of state houses of assembly in the 36 states of Nigeria as a requirement to alter the constitution. And as to business reports. Public Complaints Commission has called on federal government to control the rising high cost of living in Nigeria through its prices and consumers regulatory agencies. The Honorable Commissioner of the Commission, Honorable Dahatu Musa Ezekiel, who disclosed this in Abuja, said Nigerians have complained in numbers to the Commission that the high cost living has become unbearable.
The rising cost of living has become a very serious issue and a matter of concern to the Commission, owing to the number of cases, number of complaints we have received in the office with to this regards. And suffice to say that the rising of cost of living is bordered primarily on the prices of commodities we are facing. And we have people who are saying they can't afford certain basic commodity like food, commodity for construction, cement and all of that. And what the Commission is worried about is that we have agents of government that are constitutionally backed with an act and are established to do what they are supposed to do. In the wisdom of government, you could see that government have decentralized so many things, so we'll have people handling one issue or the other. Like for the issue of commodity hike in price and all of that, we have the Consumer Protection Board, which is now the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, and they are to protect the interests of the consumers. So ranging from prices to commensurate with whatever you are purchasing, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Board have this responsibility to protect the consumer.
Ezekiel stressed that the inflation goods in the market is rising every day because suppliers' regulatory bodies have failed to do their work and thereby allowing traders arbitrarily fixing prices of commodities.
Because what we do in public complaints, we are watchdog of government, and we ensure that every agent of government do their bit. In the conscience of government, the wisdom of government, there is dissemination of responsibility. So if you have an agent of government who's supposed to regulate what people sell, and is not doing it, and people are arbitrarily fixing price, prices are somersaulting, changing and swinging and dwindling at will. No, it should not be accepted. Failure of these government agents have put us to this the kind of situation we have found ourselves, and this should not be tolerated. This should not be accepted, because they are being paid with taxpayers' money. We should see them in action. They have they have a binding law and act empowering them to do A, B, C, D. They should work within the confine of what is being provided for them as a tool, an instrument to work with. So that's why the Commission is calling on them, especially in the FCT, that they should help Mr. President, they should help the federal government, and also help the masses, because if they regulate the price, the masses will be helped. People will go about their normal businesses. If I'm buying tomato 10 naira, let me know that this is the best I can get, because government eye is on it to ensuring that I'm not being exploited. Because
World Bank has predicted that Nigerian gross domestic product will grow by 3.7% in 2025. The World Bank, in its started global economic prospects, subdued growth, multiple challenges, projected that the African economy will improve by 3.3%, up from a projected 2.9% for 2023. The Washington-based bank attributed the momentum to the gradual realization of the current macro-fiscal reforms, adding that since the assumption of office by President Bola Tinubu, he has initiated some reforms which include the removal of few subsidies and foreign exchange rates, harmonization with a focus of infrastructure development, manufacturing and technology. The multilateral bank also said that the country's economic growth will be driven by agriculture, construction and services and trade. Minister of Interior Dr. Olubunmi Tunjiojo has assured that biometric gates at various locations in the country's airports will provide seamless clearance services for passengers entering the country through any international airport when inaugurated. Tunjiojo disclosed this when he undertook a tour of the biometric equipment installed at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, as well as the Command and Control Center at the Nigeria Immigration Service headquarters in Abuja. Dr. Tunjiojo, who said the facilities would be a game changer for effective and efficient management of international passengers in the country, said the Advanced Passenger Information System and the Command and Control Center facilities had been integrated not just for seamless entry and exit for passengers, but to add another layer to the nation's national security architecture. He also said whatever is happening within the airport's domains would be seen in real time at the Command and Control Center to enable security agencies to monitor persons of interest entering the country.
Generally, I think we're on the right track, and I think we're on track towards giving Nigeria renewed hope, and I think with what I've seen here, it made the Command and Control Center, as you can see, it's more than 70% ready. I learned that all their equipment are already on the ground, including the servers, and the contractor has given me his word that in the next 3 weeks, this place will be 100% ready. So it means that the e-immigration project, the border control management project, the automation of border control system is on course, and Nigerians they're about to have a new experience indeed. And above all, immigration service is ready to contribute a quota to national security architecture. As I always say, immigration service is an integral part of national security, and it's a security organization. The efficiency of the service goes a long way to determine how secured the country will be. And with what we've seen, Immigration Service have decided to adopt technology. Immigration Service they've modernized, and Immigration Service has automated the operations. And in doing this, in line with global best practice, Nigerians can be sure that a more secure Nigeria is coming to life. And of course, Nigerians very soon, by the grace of God, will be able to sleep with their 2 eyes closed, knowing fully well that their border will be well protected, the Nigerian state will be secured, and Nigerians will once again be proud to be called Nigerians.
In five of the international airports in the country, including Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, Abuja, and Enugu. Announcements to national tidbits. Economic Community of West African States says it is ready to implement a regional 30 by 30 plan to secure at least 30% of the planet by 2030. Nigeria's Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Isiaq Saloko, who disclosed this in the Abuja and ECOWAS coordination meeting, said that the target was to preserve life-giving ecosystems and immediately halt the human-induced extinctions of white species. On his part, the head of the Environment and Climate Change Division of ECOWAS, Bernard Kofi, said that the ECOWAS member states share diverse ecosystems of international conservation importance. Mrs. Masanje Torelise, Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Agriculture of the ECOWAS Commission, whom Kofi represented, said it is expedient to ensure that the region is protected through a collective efforts by member countries. In a state to end Israeli and Palestinian war, the ambassador to Palestine's embassy in Nigeria, Abdullah Shawesh, says U.S. President Joe Biden has urgently asked Israel to end attacks on Palestinians, stressing that innocent people had been killed while those who survived starved due to shortage of food and water.
U.S. President Joe Biden said, and I quote, "Israel response in Gaza is over the top. There are a lot of innocent people who are starving, intolerable, and dying. It is got to stop. This is necessary but not sufficient." Some quick reaction to this. If it is over the top, do you know, Mr. President, if those who were killed by U.S. manufactured weapons? Could you allow the Security Council to work and adopt a ceasefire resolution, Mr. President? All that Mr. Biden said mean nothing as long as he does not take practical steps to put an end to the butchery of innocent people by American weapons. Food and water are needed for a deprived population. Medicine and fuel are needed for the depression in hospital, and other life-saving supplies for the population in the troubled situation. Destruction for expelling the Palestinian people, the mass destruction, relentless bombardment, artillery shell, and other Israeli military aggression on Gaza are meant to serve only one purpose, which is the expulsion of the Palestinians in an exodus. This plan was declared by many Israeli officials tens of years ago, but many might have only heard about it since the last escalation. U.S. President Joe Biden said, and I quote,
According to the ambassador, destructions carried out to create a buffer zone for general security purposes do not appear consistent with the narrow military operations, as Israeli military are destroying universities, hospitals, and areas where war is no longer taking place, adding that the American administration should therefore force Israeli military from attacks had cards that they could stop the genocide war.
In a press release February 8, Volker Turk, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, said destruction carried out to create a buffer zone for general security purpose do not appear consistent with the narrow military operation exception set out in the international humanitarian law. Further extensive destruction of property not justified by the military necessary and carried out unlawful and wantonly amount as a grave breach of the Fourth Geneva Convention and the war crimes. Since late October 2023, my office has recorded widespread destruction and demolition by the IDF of civilian and other infrastructure, including residential buildings, schools, and universities in areas in which fighting is not or no longer taking place. Palestinian President Office Nabil Aburdani, the official spokesman for the Palestinian presidency, said, and I quote, the ground Israeli military offensive escalation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah and attempt to forcibly displace Palestinian Gazans do not absolve the American administration of its responsibility. What is required of the American administration is to force the occupation to stop the genocidal massacres that it is committing against the Palestinian. It is committing against the Palestinian people. This will push for the brink of the empires. The United States has many cards that, if used, could end this genocide.
Sports. Nigeria Football Federation has fixed a date for the 2024 State Federation Cup Finals. The NFF disclosed this in a release by the Director of Competition, Ruth David, in Abuja, that the state preliminaries have been fixed to commence on 31st March 2024 across all the states. The finals have been scheduled to hold on Saturday 30th and Sunday 31st March 2024, and NFF warned that any state which fails to comply with the stipulated dates will face severe punishment. This is coming after Bendel Insurance won the 2023 edition of the competition. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Chidi Lord assures massive dividends of democracy in Emoga. IPOC bans protests in southeast over economic hardship. AGF probes ECOWAS court over unenforceable judgments. FG begins payments for November wage award. ECOWAS plans to implement biodiversity protection. NFF 2024 Federation Cup date begins March 1st to 31st. Actor Jimo advises women not to confess infidelity. I am Valentina Lawrence. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram, Atlantic TV Network. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you.